Good day, mates. Today we're going to talk about the relationship between historical events, the birth of musical trends, and their influence on language in relation to Aussie culture.
What?
Not again.
No. Mario, we talked about it.
I know, but...
No. No. No.
Okay.
We are going to talk about the relationship between historical events, birth of musical trends, and their influence on language, yes, but in relation to Afro-American culture. You dig?
I dig.
Okay.
Negro spirituals appeared in the early 17th. Slaves started singing while working to express their desire to go back home. The call and response element present in Gospels reflect the early stages of the Black English vernacular.
The spirituals also then evolved into Gospels.
Blues originated in the 1890s. It tells the story of frustration, desperation, oppression, struggles and violence they faced after the Reconstruction period. It's the first time in which the African American could express themselves freely. Their pidgin English developed into what we recognize today as Black English vernacular. Let's not forget that the blues inspired the worldwide famous country music, played mainly by white people.
Just began in the late 19th and early 20th century. However, it became popular during the age of Prohibition, where it was used to liven up illicit venues. It was considered quite immoral and even threatening to the old values during the Roaring '20s. It highly influenced society, namely jazz poetry, the Harlem Renaissance, and the flappers. It empowered the status of the African American, increasing the tension of racial conflicts.
Rock and roll appeared between 1940 and 1950 due to the migration of former slaves to major urban centers such as Memphis, New York City, and Chicago. This meant that black and white residents lived in close proximity. As a result, they exchanged music and fashion. Rock and roll led the way for desegregation, shaped American teenagers' identity, and influenced daily life, fashion, attitudes, and language.
Rap began in the 1960s, specifically in Bronx, New York. It received different influences from jazz poetry, and although it's not related to any historical event, it's the music genre where the Black English vernacular is more clearly shown. And it's actually the first genre in which the white people have faced racial discrimination.
So, we have seen the evolution of Black English vernacular through music genres such as
Spirituals from the 17th century and gospel, but also blues like in 1890s.
And then we have jazz in the Roaring '20s, then rock and roll in the 50s, and later on rap during the 60s.
I have to say, at least I think, that it's really surprising how much music can influence and affect lives.
It does.
And identity. Would you have ever imagined that, I don't know, a new musical trend would change laws, for example?
Or social status, even language.
Or maybe even the trends and fashion.
Yes.
Do you remember that rock and roll changed everything at that time? Yeah, even though black people at the beginning they had a bad reputation, their language had a really bad reputation, then when rock and roll appeared, it was like the complete opposite. Everybody
wanted to be like that.
Everybody wanted to jump in the bandwagon.
Yes, and speak like them.
Dress like them.
Dress like them.
And I would have never imagined that white people would have problems with rap. Like it was upside down. Totally. And one last question. What do you think happened first? Or what do you think is the cause and the consequence? Does language affect music or does music affect language?
I don't know. What
do
you
think?
think?